Hi, I'm Daniel Foley from Foley Health and Fitness. In this video, we're going to talk about some ways to make sure that you're doing a good job with the basics in your workouts or in your training, but also making sure that you're adding in some variety and some things to make it interesting and some things to make sure that you are making progress. So some of the insights that I'm going to talk about in this video actually come from a great book called The Talent Code. I think it's by Daniel Coyle, I believe is his name. And in that book, he travels all over the world and finds these hotbeds of talent where, for example, a swim club where Michael Phelps swims and all these Olympians are coming out of this one place, or he finds a tennis club where all these professional tennis players are coming out of this one place, or he finds a music academy or all these amazing musicians are coming out of this one place. And so the question becomes is how do you create a culture where you're producing high levels of talent or high levels of success, whatever it may be, inside of that little community. And so one of the things he talks about is that number one, all of those hotbeds of talent, these places where people are really excelling, they all do a good job of emphasizing the basics. So for example, even the Michael Phelps in the swim clubs, they have to go in and they have to do the basic drills every single day. Even like the beginner kids would be doing, he has to do those beginner drills on a daily basis. And so he says that they go in and they make sure that even the high level people are constantly practicing the basics and they are reinforcing the fundamentals on a consistent basis. So for example, in the workout world, probably the most basic stuff, but I've also seen it's one of the things that has the highest kind of bang for your buck if you get better at it. It has a tremendous carryover into anything you want to do fitness-wise. Will we just be practicing moving your body weight? So for example, squats and push-ups and pull-ups and sit-ups and just the ability to move your body weight at a higher level, to move your own body more gracefully and with more ease and at a higher level. So just practicing those exercises on a regular basis has tremendous benefits for your health and for your fitness. But then he says to balance that, the athletes are also encouraged. So they're practicing the fundamentals every day and they're practicing them and getting better at them and getting better at them on a daily basis. But he says they find ways to take the fundamentals and kind of make a game out of them, to make them a little more exciting and to make them a game out of them. So how could you take the basic squats and push-ups and sit-ups and maybe make a game out of it? Try to score some points or find a way to make a game out of it, to make it a little bit more fun would be one of the things that you could do. But then he says the other thing that these places do is that they're constantly challenging and trying to get people to the next level. What is the next skill? What is the next thing you need to work on? Maybe it's a sport and you need to work on the next set of skills, whatever it may be. What is that next skill that you're working on? So they're kind of hitting two sides of the equation here. They're working on the very, very basic fundamentals, but they're making a game out of them. Okay? And then on the other side, you have them pushing the limits and stretching them and challenging them to the next level on things that are more advanced. And when you have this combination, those two things tend to balance each other. So a simple way that you could do it, for example, in your workouts, practicing the basic stuff, squats and push-ups and sit-ups and pull-ups, and trying to make a game out of it. Make it a little bit more fun, make it a little more engaging, make it a little more exciting to go in and practice those basic things. But then maybe you do a couple rounds of that, and then after you're done, we can use body weight exercises as an example. You try to test your limits a little bit, and you try maybe the next level up of a body weight exercise. So for example, let's say you're struggling with push-ups, and we're working on being able to do push-ups on your knees, for example, and you're working on that every day, and you're practicing that fundamental, but then when you're done, maybe you try a few push-ups on your toes. Maybe you can get it that day. Or maybe you're a little more advanced and you're doing push-ups on your toes and you're doing sets of 20 or 30 or 40 reps and you got no problem hammering those out and you're working those basics every day. But then maybe you try to do some handstands or you do some handstand push-ups. So that'd be an example. So you could do it with squats, for example. You're working on mastering your body weight squats. And then after you've done that, maybe you work on some pistol squats or some single leg squats or variations of step-ups or lunges, whatever they may be, or jumping skills, whatever those may be. And then to use another example with pull-ups. Maybe you do regular pull-ups. Maybe you're working on your regular pull-ups and trying to get better at them. And then eventually you start to work on, as you get better at pull-ups, you start to work on maybe doing things like a muscle up where you pull yourself all the way up over the bar, or trying to get your chest to the bar. You're trying to work on that next level. So it's this combination of these two things, constantly reinforcing the basics and getting better at them and mastering those basics. Because really, in everything that you want to master, health and fitness being one of them, The basic things often provide the most bang for your buck, but then you also need some variety and some challenge, the things to get you out of your comfort zone and to kind of test your abilities to see if you're really getting better, and that keeps the training more interesting as you go. And you can apply this to anything that you want to learn, whether it's learning to play an instrument, speak a language, whatever it may be. There's the basic things that you need to do, and then you need to have some things that kind of test you and push you to the next level. And when you have this balance of those two things, your results often accelerate, and you can kind of create this culture of accelerated results.